Today at 3 p.m. is the time that I look on my remote and I point it at the TV and I try to figure out what channel is the MLB network. Why? Because today is the day that they choose the next batch of people who are headed into the Baseball Hall of Fame. And there are a few Mariners eligible. Ichiro, legendary Mariners outfielder Ichiro Suzuki has a chance to make history today, as current projections have him being only the second unanimous election into the Hall of Fame. New York Yankees closer Mariano Rivera is the only one to hold that honor, and that happened in 2019.
Crowd of 28,935 on their feet now. A couple of Hall of Famers going head-to-head. There's a drive! Deep right field! Going back, switcher! Ichiro has beaten Mariano Rivera with a two-run, game-winning home run. Mariners win it 3-2.
Absolute stud. Ichiro, Hall of Fame. It does have a ring to it. Joining me in studio is Paul Holden, our producer this morning. Big baseball nut.
Oh, yeah.
This is so exciting for us fans who eagerly watched Ichiro when he came to the United States and joined the Seattle Mariners. That was such an electrifying moment for Seattle fans. And to think that he fulfilled on that promise, and now he's got to be a shoo-in, right?
Oh, if it's not unanimous, I'll be surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a guy that changed not only the landscape for the Mariners, but just the landscape of baseball for what he did, paving the way for even more international players, especially Japan, to come in and build that relationship, the Shohei Ohtanis of the world. I mean, I was actually just talking about Luke Ducey in the newsroom. When players, especially Japanese players, see Ichiro, it is like meeting Babe Ruth. It is like meeting the biggest legend of the game. I would be shocked if he isn't unanimous, because there's no argument against it. Career .311 hitter, 10 consecutive Gold Gloves. That means 10 seasons in a row he was voted the best defender at his position. He's the second player to ever win Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same season. Over 500 stolen bases before they made it easier to steal bases in the modern game of baseball. I'm curious, Charlie, do you think of him as the hit king, though? Do you take the Japan stats and the major league stats and put them together?
It's hard to justify that. Maybe I'm just being a stickler, maybe I'm being a purist, but there is something to be said about MLB versus other professional leagues. It's not discounting it, and in my heart he's the hit king, but when you look at it, I got to think that maybe we don't necessarily count that.
Yeah, and I think it's just the conversation to be had. I mean, it's just another thing that's going to go on his plaque, because he's getting in the Hall of Fame.
Oh,
I mean that the question of is he's going to get in is an easy one, but the question of if he'll be unanimous is another. But
a couple cool things here too, because not only is Ichiro on the ballot, but a couple other former Mariners as well. So we have Felix Hernandez. Mm-hmm. That's an uphill climb, it seems, but certainly he pitched a perfect game. He's a Seattle legend. King Felix always has a place in my heart. And then there's Alex Rodriguez. He started out in the Mariners organization. You remember the pictures of him in '95, Joey Cora weeping on his shoulder as the Mariners lost that divisional playoff, or ALCS, I should say. So certainly can't discount that. It's not mathematically impossible that three Mariners, or people with Mariners connections, make the Hall of Fame today.
Yeah, and it's an uphill battle today for both A-Rod and King Felix. But the good news about King Felix is he's got enough to stay on the ballot. And the good news about that is they have a long time. And as I grew up in Colorado, a longtime Rockies fan, and both of the Rockies two members in the Hall of Fame, they took a while. They initially kind of started off slow on the ballot, but if you can just stay on there, your case can just build and build. And this modern voter, I think there's an argument that King Felix is going to be has a shot, and it might surprise some people.
My 12-year-old is playing in a baseball tournament in Cooperstown the week of the Hall of Fame induction.
Is that right?
I think I might try to snag some tickets.
You got to. That's going to be that Little League series is such a cool game. And it's got to be an awesome experience for the kids.
Awesome. All right, let's head over to the Beacon Plumbing traffic desk with Sully.
Well, it's not like we know anybody from the Mariners that might be able to help you find some Hall of Fame tickets. You maybe give you a press pass for you and young Sam.
Young
perhaps.
Sam?
Yeah.
What about the rest
reporter?
of the fam?
Well, They'll be fine. They just don't, they won't be.
I will be murdered if I go and they don't go.
You'll be on the field. They'll be up in the 300 level. I know. There isn't even a 300 level there, but no, that should be exciting.